Hello, my name is Krista Mullins, and I am a program consultant with the Kentucky Department of Education's Office of Assessment and Accountability. I work in the Division of Assessment and Accountability Support. I'm excited to bring to you today the first of two parts specific to the Overview Attainment Task training. Part one of today's training will focus on an overview of the assessment, along with key dates and requirements to prepare you for a successful administration. Here you can see our agenda for the Attainment Task Training Part 1. We'll take a look at the administration guide, desired outcomes, required trainings, quality of school climate and safety or QSCS survey, components of the alternate Kentucky summative assessment, participation guidelines, content areas assessed, webpage resources, and next steps. On this slide, you will find a link to the Combined Attainment Task Administration Guide. Please open or download the administration guide for today's training. It can also be found on the Kentucky Alternate Assessment Resources page. Many quiz questions will come from the administration guide, so it is critical to have access to it. Completing this training should prepare each participant to accurately administer the attainment tasks. Correct administration is crucial to getting accurate information from the assessment. Therefore, it is important to take time to understand the administration procedures fully. Let's take a moment and look at what is required before you administer the attainment tasks. First and foremost, before you administer any Kentucky state assessment, you must receive the administration code training and the inclusion of special populations training. If these trainings are not completed, then no test administration should occur. And finally, if you are completing this training, you will more than likely also be administering the alternate Kentucky summative assessment, so this training is also a requirement to administer the attainment tasks. An important highlight to note is the continued administration of the Quality of School Climate and Safety Survey to alternate assessment students. This survey is a required part of accountability that must be administered to all students. This includes students participating in the Kentucky Alternate Assessment. There are surveys represented for students in grades 3 through 5 and then grades 6 through high school designed specifically for students who will be assessed. This means if a student is not in an assessment year, they will not be responsible for completing the survey. The survey for alternate assessment students consists of 10 questions with 4 answer options. The 4 answer options are the same as what is provided to students completing the survey for the general assessment. One very important point to note is that in high school, only students in grades 10 and 11 will complete the survey. The requirements are aligned with the general assessment, so students in grades 9, 12, or 14 in the Kentucky Alternate Assessment will not complete the survey. As a reminder, the survey must be administered before any content areas are assessed. The only students who will not take the QSCS survey are first-year English Language or EL students. The QSCS survey will be provided in the Attainment Task or AT Window 2 binder. It is printed on yellow paper behind the test administrator directions and on top of the table of contents. Each AT binder will have a copy of the QSCS survey provided. The QSCS survey must be administered prior to administering any AT items. Results should be submitted in the Student Registration Database, or SRD, beginning April 14, 2025. The Kentucky Alternate Assessment Program is made up of 2 assessment types: Alternate Kentucky Summative Assessment Attainment Tasks, or ATs, and the Transition Attainment Record, or the TAR. Attainment tasks are administered this year to students in grades 3 through 11 in reading, mathematics, writing, science, and social studies, depending on which content is assessed at the specific grade range. We will look at those required areas later. Attainment tasks are picture-based multiple-choice assessments that are fully scripted and read by the test administrator. Attainment tasks permit accommodations identified for state assessments in the Individualized Education Program, or IEP. There are two test windows for the alternate Kentucky Summative Assessment Attainment Task Administration. Even though there are two test windows, it is one complete assessment split between two windows. As a result, students must take both Window 1 and Window 2, regardless of when they moved into the district or became eligible for the alternate assessment. Window 1 is November 12th through December 18th, 2024, and Window 2 is April 14th through May 23rd, 2025. When administering the attainment tasks, test administrators will read the script word for word and present their students with the question and the option of 3 answer choices. Pictures are optional unless indicated in the script. Once your student responds, the answer is then recorded on the paper copy of the answer sheet provided with the actual material shipment. After the administration is over, the answers are then recorded electronically in the Student Registration Database, or SRD, after you have been activated by your DAC, DOS, or District Alternate Assessment Administrator. It is highly recommended to keep student response sheets at the district level in a secure location until after data cleanup in the event there is an error in score entry. Also, for your convenience, the Alternate Assessment Program Calendar link on this slide is live and is a one-stop shop for all important dates for the alternate program as a whole. All dates for the AKSA, TAR, CWEC, ESAR, Infinite Campus, etc. can be found there. Part 2 of this training will focus solely on attainment tasks and the components related to the administration. The Transition Attainment Record, or the TAR, is only administered at the high school level. It aligns with the ACT requirement at grade 11. For any students not meeting benchmark and hoping to use the TAR score for the academic portion of the transition readiness, the TAR may also be administered at grades 12 and 14, as long as a graduation code has not been assigned at grade 14. A training specific to the TAR will be made available on September 30th, 2024. Students participating in the Kentucky Alternate Assessment must meet all requirements found in the participation guidelines. This is reviewed at the Annual Admissions and Release Committee, or ARC, meeting. For any questions about participation in the Kentucky Alternate Assessment, I encourage you to contact our friends in the Office of Special Education and Early Learning. Lauren Thieneman, in the Division of IDEA, Monitoring and Results, is the lead. She does an amazing job with placement decisions and the participation process in its entirety. This slide focuses on the content areas that will be assessed at the elementary level. One thing to note is that many schools have a different grade configuration, so your school may not be a 3 through 5 grade span. It may be a 3 through 6 or a 3 through 4. The 3 through 5 grade span is used at the state level, as that is how district accountability is represented. There will also be one field test per content and grade level in Window 1 and Window 2. This slide reflects the required content areas being assessed at middle school. As a reminder, there will also be field tests in each content area that is tested in each grade. This slide looks at the high school content areas to be assessed. If you will note in bold, grade 9 and grade 12 and 14 do not have attainment tasks administered at those grades. Nothing is assessed at grade 9, and only the TAR is available for those who choose to take it at grade 12 or 14. There will be field tests in each content area tested at the various grade levels. A student completing the alternate Kentucky Summative Assessment will be tested based on the grade listed for him or her in Infinite Campus, or IC. It is critical that the grade placement be correct in IC in September or no later than October this year, before rosters for the Fall Window 1 assessments are pulled. Once a student participating in the alternate Kentucky Assessment Program has completed grade 12 and they plan to remain in school until up to age 21, they may then be enrolled in IC as a grade 14 student. If you are not familiar with the Alternate Kentucky Summative Assessment webpage, I encourage you to venture out on the KDE website. Locate the Assessment and Accountability site on the homepage. Select Assessments in the drop-down menu and then double-click the Alternate Kentucky Summative Assessment program link. Select Alternate Resources from the options listed in the drop-down menu. On this page, you can find various resources that you will find to be helpful. You can also find other valuable resources on KDE's website. So, what happens now? Well, if you haven't already read the administration guide provided along with this training, please do so. If you have students in grades 11, 12, and/or 14 who need to take the TAR, that training will be released on September 30th. Anyone planning to administer the Alternate Kentucky Summative Assessment this fall or in the spring must complete this training along with Part 2, which will follow. Complete the qualifying quiz found in the online training system, complete the Administration Code and Inclusion of Special Populations training, all before November 8, 2024. This only needs to be completed one time per year. The quiz contains several mandatory questions that must be answered correctly to receive a passing score. This training, along with the qualifying quiz, serves as a review each year before you administer the Alternate Kentucky Summative Assessments. This concludes Part 1 of the Attainment Task Training. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at 502-564-4394 or at krista.mullins@education.ky.gov. Thank you for your time. Please be sure to view Part 2 of this training.